Evet, hoş geldiniz. Size uluslararası bir utility çözümünü tanıtacağız bugün. Belçika'da kurulu Itineris firmasının temsilcileri burada. Biz Birleşik Uzmanlar Bilişim AŞ olarak onlarla bir stratejik işbirliği anlaşması imzaladık. Bu çözümü Türkiye'de uygulamak üzere kendileri bizim Belçika'ya gönderdiğimiz bir ekibi eğittiler. Biz de yavaş yavaş software hakkında bilgileniyoruz. Ve birlikte birkaç projemiz var teklif vermek üzere olduğumuz. O anlamda önemli bir oyuncu Avrupa'da Itineris ve giderek dünyaya yayılan bir software. Şu anda Belçika, Hollanda ve Amerika'da işleri var. İnşallah bunu Türkiye'de ekleyeceğiz. Biz 2003 yılında Microsoft çözüm ortağı olmuştuk. Aslında bir yeminli mali müşavirlik firması bünyesinde başlattık ERP işini. Bir anlamda belki de Microsoft'un ilk çözüm ortaklarından birisiyiz. Daha sonra bu ekibi yeminli mali müşavirlik firmasının içinden dışarıya çıkarak ayrı bir şirket haline getirdik 2007 yılında. Özellikle deneyimli bir kadromuzun yapmış olduğu projelerle iyi bir referans base'imiz var. Müşterilerimizin çok şükür büyük bir çoğunluğu bizden memnunlar. Ve biz bu tecrübemizi gelişmekte olan bir sektör olan enerjiye de taşımak istedik. Bu anlamda bir dikey çözüm olan UMAX'ı Türkiye'ye getirdik. Şimdi arkadaşım Kuhn anlatacak ana hatlarıyla çözümü. Bu gördüğünüz slide bizim daha önce yapmış olduğumuz projeleri gösteriyor. İlgilenirseniz bunlar hakkında da detaylı bilgi verebiliriz. Şimdi Kuhn'da söz. Kuhn aynı zamanda Itineris firmasının da kurucu ortaklarından ve iş geliştirme müdürü. Dünya genelinde çalışan bir arkadaşımız. Buyur Kuhn. Bu arada İngilizce olacak tabii ki sunumu. Bir problem olursa ben buradayım. Bilemiyorum. Burada simultaneous translation yok galiba. Ama takip edemeyecek durumda olanlar var mı? Sunumu İngilizce olarak yapacak arkadaşım. Tamam. O zaman bir şey olursa bir problem. Teknik terimlerde içimizde mühendisler de var herhalde. Yardım etmeye çalışırız. Buyurun.
Test. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna speak slowly, and I hope you're gonna understand me. If something is not clear, please interrupt me, and then I can explain more slowly. Okay. So we are a Belgium-based company. Why is that important? It is important because from a utility perspective, already 15 years ago, the deregulation started in Belgium. So actually the process that you are now in Turkey are going through, the liberalization of the market, actually it started in Belgium already 15 years ago. So we already went through the different stages of liberalization. Our company is only specialized in the utility market. We acquired this year a company in the US, so it means that we are not only active in Europe, but also in the US. Our product is UMAX, and UMAX is our vertical solution based on the Microsoft Dynamics AX platform. Microsoft Dynamics AX is a general ERP platform, and we made it very specific for the utility sector. And for that solution, very important that Microsoft certified our solution. It means that we have the same quality principles as Microsoft has. This is very important, and it means that we have the full support of Microsoft. Our solution, we are working for the major European players. For example, Electrabel, it's a supply company. It's a supply company for gas and electricity. Or another example, AWW, it's a water company. Or Delta, it's another example, it's a grid company. So you have different roles in the market, and we support the different roles in the market. Because normally, if you look at the value chain within the utility space, you have the production, the transportation, the distribution, and then the consumption. In the early days, it was one company. What is liberalization? Liberalization is that they split the entire value chain in different separate roles. And then you come to settings like this, for example, where this is one company, this is another company where they are selling the commodity, and transport and distribution is another company. That is actually what liberalization is. That is the process that Turkey gonna go through. We go, with our solution, we support the different roles. So different roles we support. We also support different commodities. Not only electricity, gas, and water, but for example, in the States, also the heating and the cooling, and also broadband access, what we call digital data, is supported by our solution. So that are the roles, that are the commodities. And then from a functional point of view, we have here our process map. Our process map indicates what is our functional support. So here you have the primary value chain, where you're going to design, for example, your products. Then in a liberalized market, you really have to, so to speak, fight for your customer. So you have the campaign management for the residentials, but for the upper market, the industrial market, you have the quotation process, where you have to issue quotations and negotiate with your customer. Then during the delivery of your customer, you have some customer interaction where also customer self-service is important. Then you have the billing and you have the cash collection. So that is what we call the primary value chain. Then you have the supporting value chain where you have the connect, and that's more related to physical things. So you need to install metering points, to install meters. You need to do the meter readings, and it might be the case that you also have to do some service management for your assets that are installed in the field. So that's the physical layer, and then at the bottom you have more the enterprise functions, and that is related to control and risk management. It's the BI thing. And then you have the human resources and the financial functions. Okay. I hope I don't have to repeat everything. I think so far it's clear. Okay, just checking. Okay, good. So that's the functional support. So for the different roles, we actually tackle quite a broad functional range of functionality. Okay? So we are building on top of Microsoft AX, but besides Microsoft AX, we also use other solutions of the Microsoft stack to come to an entire solution. For example, for the messaging, we use BizTalk server. And for the front office, so when you have to do some interaction with the customer, we use SharePoint. Also, we use BizTalk if we have to integrate with, for example, SCADA system, GIS system, or other infrastructure tooling. Important to mention is that in collaboration with Microsoft and with HP Canada, in the beginning of this year, we did some performance tests. And we showed that our solution can scale up until 20 million customers. So that's very important that we did that test in the beginning of this year in February with Microsoft and HP in Canada. Because for the US market, huge numbers are, of course, important. To share very shortly the look and feel of the environment, it is Microsoft, so it's very Outlook-alike. You will see here the action pane. You have fast filters. When you want to have some more information, you can see it at the bottom. And very handy is when you have, for example, here customer information, and you want to have more information of that customer, you have here fact boxes. And what are fact boxes? Fact boxes are related information of that customer. For example, the open amount, the latest invoice, the latest meter reading, all that kind of information that is linked to that customer, you can show it at the right-hand side, so that in one glance you have a good overview of your customer. That's another example, but I'm going to skip it. So this is the back office. That's the AX environment. Next to the AX environment, we have also a front office environment. What is a front office environment? If you have a lot of customers and they are calling you a lot, you want to have an environment that is optimized for an efficient handling of all those calls. Okay? That's what we call the front office. I'm now going to show you, just to give you an impression, how our front office looks like. I'm going to change screens. Okay? And it's not. Okay. I have to make my screen a bit smaller. So that's the front office. The resolution is not optimal, but it's the projector. So what you see over here is that if somebody is calling, you can integrate it with Link, the messaging system of Microsoft. Using IVR, the customer is calling you, typing in his customer number or invoice number, the system will recognize the customer, and then immediately the customer is shown over here. So here you see the name and details of the customer, and here you have also an indication of the customer value. So whether it's a very good customer or a bad customer. In a liberalized market, you can refuse customers, so then it is important. Of course, in a non-liberalized market, you have to accept all customers. So that's here an indication of the customer value. Over here, you have indicators whether the processes for that customer are in control, yes or no. For example, if this one is indicated in red, it means that some address information is missing for that customer. So you immediately can see it. Here you see contract details. You have electricity, gas, and water. And all the contacts you had with the customer are shown over here. In a liberalized market, you always want to sell more to that customer. And here you have some hinting. For example, if that customer is consuming electricity, gas, and water, and you want to sell some digital data, then over here you will indicate, you will prompt the customer front office employee to ask the customer to propose that service offering. Now I'm going to show you, but I will not explain in detail that that customer is calling you and he's not paying his invoices. And what we're going to do, we're going to bundle the invoices together and we're going to make a new payment plan. For example, in 10 times he has to pay the total open amount. Okay? I'm just going to show you that you have an impression of the kind of screens that are behind that environment. So here you see an overview of the invoices. We're going to select some invoices. We're going to create a new payment arrangement. And now it's just a wizard where we go through, where we indicate, for example, in how many times we want to have that payment plan paid back by the customer. So you see, it's very user-friendly to go through the process. So, and that's then the proposition for the payment plan. I'm going to stop over here, and I'll switch back to the presentation. So, now I just want to highlight some functional topics. And I'm going to start from this process overview. I'm going to start with the product. And when we talk about the functional areas, we have the process overview, and then we're going to fine-tune the processes. So we then have process description on level 3, and then we have very detailed process descriptions at level 4. I'm going to start with product right now. In our solution, if you look at standard Microsoft Dynamics AX, you can buy or you can sell units, but energy, it's something totally different. What we have made is the possibility that you can create products for the utility business. And what is so typical for products in the utility business is that a product consists out of, for example, a meter rent, a transportation fee, you have the real usage. So some are based on consumptions, some are based on a fee per month, and all that kind of compositions to come to a product you can easily configure in our product configurator. And you can create over here all kind of complex formulas. If you create a product, you have to go through an approval cycle. There we use the standard AX approval mechanism. Then something about the contracts we register in the system. In the system, you can have multi-utilities. So for example, next to electricity, you can also have other services. For example, when you want, in the US, it's commonly done, the maintenance of heating, they combine it, and then you just combine contracts with multiple utilities. Then, shortly on the more infrastructure thing, very important is the life cycle management of the meters. You have a very complex life cycle over there. We support all the different stations, from the reception of a new meter until the meter retirement or the upgrade of the meters. Also, in a grid where you have, for example, substations and you have to do maintenance on it, you can configure in the system when the maintenance should be done. Also, when people have to go into the field, they use mobile devices to register their work. I just go through the screen that you have a first impression. I cannot tackle in 20 minutes everything in detail. And the last thing I want to tackle today, very important, people want to be into control. So the BI thing is very important. As I mentioned already, we have the kind of process flows, and in the process flows, we have measuring points. So we indicate what kind of things from that process we want to measure. Then we have an overview of all measuring points. From those measuring points, we can then create performance indicator or key performance indicators. And of course, every indicator is also well defined what is in it. And then in such a way, starting from those measuring points on all levels, from the very operational till the more strategic or executive level, you then can keep an eye on your business. From a technical point of view, what we do is we just replicate all the data and then we model the cubes, and those cubes are either accessible using the Power Pivot or the more classic data warehouse environment. And that is then just one example of a dashboard that one of our customers is using. Okay? So that was very fast an introduction I wanted to share with you about our solution, UMAX, a solution that has proven its effectiveness already for more than 10 years. Are there any questions? So I think it's around 25 for the moment. Other questions? You can ask them in Turkish and then it will be translated, so don't hesitate.
How do you measure the KPIs? Do you have any tools or embedded tools?
So, how we measure the KPIs?
Yes.
What we do is we make all the measuring points over here. We store them because you need the very basic information. We store them. When do things happen? That's very important. And then once you have the data, you can do something with it. But if you don't store that data, you don't have that data.
Or any type of?
Yes, yes. It's a specific for the meter readings, and it depends country per country. You have countries where you have the meter reading with devices, and the payment is immediately done, or you have the more automated, where you have the smart metering that enters now the market. So you have, depending on the market, different mechanisms to come to that meter data. No more questions? I would like to thank you all for your presence. Thank you very much.